clear about something, and this is something you may want to teach when you have your messengership in full bloom, in full blossom. So let's talk about this. Course in Miracles says there are only two emotions, love and fear. And Conversations with God doesn't quite go that far. It doesn't say there are only two emotions, but it does say that all choices, actions, and decisions spring from one of two emotions, love or fear. It doesn't say there aren't any other emotions, but it says that everything springs from love or fear. However, Conversations with God makes a startling statement somewhere later in the cosmology. Perhaps it's in the last book, I'm not sure, but somewhere along the way, way toward the end of the 3,000 pages, a statement is made. In truth, there is really only one emotion, love. Love is all there is. And I said, well, wait a minute, how can that be true? What about fear? And what God said was, Neale, every other emotion you can name or define is a derivation of and emerges from the single and only emotion called love. How can fear be called love, said I. And God said, the answer is strikingly obvious. All fear is a form of self-love, obviously. And so we see that at its furthest extension, every emotion is a form of love. Guys, it's 6 o'clock. We have an hour and a half left of this program, and that hour and a half will begin at 7:30. Why does the Tomeri experience dissipate over time with the same person? And what does that mean? And can you get it back? I think sex is extraordinarily important in a relationship if the relationship is intended to be a relationship of intimacy, and including romantic intimacy, obviously. If it's not intending to be that is, if two people decide to live together as brother and sister, or as pal and pal, or whatever, and if that's the understanding going in, and that's the intention and desire, and that is the purpose, and so forth, and everyone is clear about that, of course, it's not important. So I want to be clear that I don't think that sex is important in the sense that without it, you can't have a high-quality relationship. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So let me make that clear again. It's not my statement that in the absence of sex, you cannot have a high-quality relationship. Of course you can. And people do it all the time. But you cannot have a high-quality relationship in the absence of sex if one or both partners have it on their agenda or as part of their life desire to express themselves through the sexual energy, or to, for that matter, experience an extremely high level of personal, physical, and spiritual intimacy. The Tomeri connection will dissipate because the energy isn't being used. The energy isn't being used. And then it will become very awkward. If you don't use that energy on a regular basis with joy and abandon and childlike freedom, if you don't use that energy in those ways over a period of many months, and I don't mean abstinence, I mean regularly. You may use it, but maybe once or twice a week. And again, please, I'm not talking about once or twice a week sex. I'm talking about once or twice a week intimacy, just sitting down and having lunch, or sitting on the couch and turning off the TV and just playing some soft music and talking to each other and say, how was your day? How was your day? And meaning it, not how was your day pro forma, but really, look at me, how was your day? And then sitting there with ears wide open and actually wanting to know. And not just, well, hurry up and finish because I didn't really want all that much data. But being there with the question, or any question of any kind. And by the way, it's not just sharing when someone asks you to share with them, but it's also being intimate in your willingness to bring something to the other that wasn't asked for. You know what I'm saying? You must bring your diverseness or your diversity of experience to the other and chat about it, whether it's the Obama-McCain race or a movie you saw last week, or that's a review or whatever it might be. You've got to share your life. You can't, if your life starts looking like go to work in the morning, come home at night, read the paper, talk about, pay the bills, and share maybe 10 minutes of discussion about anything important, and then, it's like it's about reading a book. It's about getting a book and sharing that and saying, honey, let me read this to you. Let me read this to you. And you share something there. And, it's about getting in the tub together. But again, it's a non-sexual thing. It's just about getting in the tub together with a glass of wine and a chunk of cheese and just sitting there and just chatting. So the most interesting thing in your life should be the other person, if you have the kind of partnership you're yearning for. One day we'll do a retreat, just a weekend, on relationships according to CWG. And just be about that. Okay.